Hello, subscribers. This is yours truly, JBlue68, coming to you with my next comic book haul video. This will be, I think, my fourth or fifth video, comic book haul video. And I'll just say this is my comic book haul, my picks, my particular picks that I picked up, comic books that attracted me and drew me to my local comic book shop to make a purchase. Before we get into, or purchases, I should say. Before we get into this haul, I do want to say thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. For liking, sharing, and commenting, please continue to do so. And tap the notification bell so you get more videos like this as I post them immediately. Well, what you see in front of you, of course, is not a comic book, but it is artwork from an upcoming comic book that will be produced, of course, by Marvel. This is artwork of The Thing, which will be, again, like I said, an upcoming book. I don't know the name of the artist, but will be, I believe, an ongoing series. And this is part of Marvel's, their graphic short boxes that they do, which I really love. I think this is honestly the coolest way to collect and keep your comic books in good shape. Let's just take a look at the box. Here's the front of the box with The Thing and several other characters on here. Some of which I recognize, others I do not. I know that's a Blob right there. And I don't know who these other characters are, but it looks like Medusa. It looks like these might be the Inhumans, honestly, some of them. But anyway, here's the top of the box, which is very cool. And there are comic books inside. In fact, the comic books that I will be showing in this particular haul. I'm sorry, I have kind of a runny nose. This weather has been kind of really funny, so it's caused some things to kind of occur with my health. Not in a terrible way. I'm fine, but anyway. So here's the back of the box, and I believe this is the artwork of the late great Jack Kirby, if I am correct. It says you can read what it says here: the colorful new Fantastic Four costumes and other startling surprises. And I love the fact this is actually the first appearance of the Fantastic Car, which is going to look a little bit different, or a lot different, in the movie, which is upcoming. And I'm trying to get as much Fantastic Four stuff as I can before the movie actually comes out. But actually, I already have a vast Fantastic Four collection. All right, so we're going to actually move this box out of the way. I actually have another short box. I'm going to lower the camera so you can see it, which has Galactus on it. Beautiful artwork. And I don't know who the artist is who drew this particular drawing of Galactus, but I think that is really very cool. And I have a lot of comic books in here as well. We're going to turn this around. And I think this is from an upcoming series that will be coming out too. Here's the other side of the box, and of course that's the notable work of Alex Ross. Very, very nice there. And then here's the top of the box. Fantastic Four versus Galactus. All right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go through these comic books. Move this box out of the way. Oh, I'm going to use two hands because this thing is quite heavy. There's a lot of comic books in here. Let's see. Okay. Move that out of the way. And grab our books. Of course, as I mentioned, the first books that we're going to show will be from Marvel. We're going to start off with Marvel Comics, and we have first off, got a lot of glare going on there. Turn this to the side. First off, we start off with Giant Size X-Men. This is a Marvel previews of upcoming Marvel books that will be released between this month, which is March, and May of this year. And this is written by Colin Kelly with artwork by Jackson Lansing and Adam Kubert. This is Giant Size X-Men #1. And you see Miss Marvel on the cover there. All right. Okay. So that's that. And then speaking of X-Men, next up we have the Uncanny X-Men from the X-Manhunt series that's coming out. This is the Uncanny X-Men issue number 11, part 1 of 7. that we see here. And I'm trying to think of who the writer is of this. This is by Gail Simone, I believe, and artist is Javier Garran. All right. Very nice there. And next up, very popular series on Disney Plus right now, Daredevil Born Again. And this is a Man Without Fear. This is a beautiful reprint. This is a facsimile edition, foil facsimile edition of Daredevil Man Without Fear. And this is Daredevil as he appears in his yellow and red costume, or yellow and red armor or outfit. And we actually seen him wear this in the She-Hulk TV series that was on Disney Plus. Whether you like the series or not, he did appear officially, Charlie Cox, the actor, in this actual outfit, which I thought was pretty cool. This is written by Stan Lee, the late great Stan Lee, illustrated by Bill Everett. I'm very glad to have this in my collection. I love this cover. I love these foil prints that Marvel Comics and DC have been coming out with for the past year now, or I should say the past couple of months now. And of course, they had some last year, DC especially. And I think between the two, DC has had the coolest foil covers. All right, let's move along here. Next up, we have what is this? Issue number? Well, let's show issue number 2 first. Issue number 2, Laura Kinney, Wolverine. And this is written by Erica Schultz, I believe, with artist is who is it? Giada Belviso, I believe it is. Giada Belviso. If I'm pronouncing the name correctly, if I'm slaughtering that name, please forgive me. And this is Laura Kinney facing off with Lady who is it? Lady Daredevil. Of course, is Elektra. All right. Now we can show issue number 3. Guest starring again Daredevil, the Woman Without Fear, who of course, as I just mentioned, is Elektra. All right, cool cover there. Okay, I got these books a little out of order here, but all right. Next up, we have the Red Band edition, issue number 7 of Werewolf by Night. A very, very cool cover there. And this is polybagged, of course. And I said before, I'm not going to open up any of the polybag issues that I have of Werewolf by Night or any of the polybag comics that I have. I'm just going to wait to get for the trade paperback to come out, and then I'll just read each issue back to back. I want to leave them in their polybag form. I think it's good as a collector to do so, for me anyway. All right. And we have another polybag of Blade. It's issue number 3, Red Band edition. Same thing with this. I'm going to leave this in the bag. I like that as is, and I'll get the trade paperback and then just go ahead and read the entire story. Okay. Next up, we have issue number 14 of Ultimate Spider-Man. And this story, of course, has received rave reviews from fans. It's written by Jonathan Hickman, of course. Very good story. I am kind of backed up in terms of my story reading with this series, so I don't really know what's going on right now. Honestly, I think I'm as far back as issue number 5 or 6. Forgive me. But anyway, I will be getting caught up on this. I am actually in the process of reading a bunch of comic books right now. So, all right, and then next up we have issue number 1 of Rogue and the Savage Land. I'm digging that cover there, and I actually have a short box which I showed a couple months back of this particular book. This is I have issues number 1 and 2. This is written by Tom Seeley with artwork by Zulina Scotto Lavina. And again, I hope I'm not slaughtering that name. Okay, and here's issue number 2, that beautiful cover by J. Scott Campbell. One of my favorite artists, definitely. This is a variant edition. I'm glad I got that's gorgeous cover. Let's do a close-up shot of that. Okay. All right. There we go. All right. So it's a beautiful cover, again by J. Scott Campbell, who also does statues, by the way. And you can see some of his statues, Sideshow Collectibles. They highlight and sell some statues that he has done for them. Very, very particular on the eyes when he draws female characters. Very linear type artwork, but that's a nice, very, very nice, sexy drawing of Rogue. Some of his artwork kind of reminds me of Disney stuff, of Disney artwork, but he has his own style and touch on what he does. You know, as I've said before, there's some artists you don't even have to look at the book inside the book to see who the artist is. If you collect comic books, you can kind of, hey, that's J. Scott Campbell. That's Lionel Francis Yu. That's Alex Ross. That's Ryan Stegman. So on, etc. Or you get what I'm saying. Get the picture. If you collect comic books like I do. So anyway, all right. Let's move on. Here's issue from the X-Men Hunt series, part 3 of 7, Earth's Mightiest Mutant, Storm. And we do have issues number 5 and 6. This is written by, I don't want to slaughter this name. I have a hard time pronouncing it. Murawa Ayodele. Murawa Ayodele, I believe. And the artist is Alex Guinares, I believe. Okay, exciting series here. And here's issue number 5. I'm kind of all out of order here with some of my books. As I was trying to put this haul together. But yeah, so here's issues number 5 and 6. And I also should mention, this is from some of these stories are from the One World Under Doom story that has just started. This is from One World Under Doom. Okay. Next up, we have Red Hulk issue number 1, also from the One World Under Doom storyline. This is, of course, written by Ryan North. Artist is R.B. I'm sorry, no, I'm wrong. Excuse me. Let me backtrack here. This story, the Red Hulk, is written by Jeff Shaw. I'm sorry. Nope, I'm still wrong. This is written by Benjamin Percy. The artist is Jeff Shaw. The interior art by the way, is very well drawn. And this storyline spawns out of the Captain America Sam Wilson storyline comic books that were released this year. It doesn't have anything to do with the movie at all. It's his own story. It's called Think Tank. And as I said, it's written by Benjamin Percy. Okay. Let's see. I'm missing here. Oh yeah, let's bring this book to the forefront. The story that we just mentioned, book number 2, One World Under Doom. I very much enjoyed the first book. I thought it was an excellent read and very well written. Doom seems to be controlling everybody, has everybody under mind control of some sort. And we see, of course, once again, the Fantastic Four. On this cover, Ben Grimm seems to be under the magical powers and control of Dr. Doom. We're going to see what that's about once we read it. I am always backlogged on my comic books, but it's all good because, again, like I said, I'm right currently under a reading sabbatical, so to speak, reading a whole bunch of books. This looks like the artist, almost looks like the artwork of Alex Ross, but it's not. This is the artwork. It's written by Ryan North, and the artist is R.B. Silva, who draws. His artwork is kind of similar, sometimes in style, of Alex Ross's artwork. Next up, this is a freebie that I got from my local comic book shop, that being Green Brain Comics. Thank you, Green Brain, for all you do for me. I really appreciate it. Let me take a sip of coffee. Mm. All right. This is from the this is a freebie, like I said, and it has 3 stories in it, if I'm correct. The Captain America story, as you see in front of you, and I believe there is a storyline that deals with the Phoenix, if I'm correct. Let me just check my notes here. You hear me turning some pages. It deals with the Phoenix and I think Spider-Man, if I am correct. Yes, Captain America, Spider-Man, Reign, and then Phoenix. The writer of that story is Stephanie Phillips, and the artist is Alessandro Minalco, I believe, specifically for the Phoenix stories. This is a freebie, part of Marvel's must-haves, of stories that they believe that you should read, to get you caught up on events that are to come in the Marvel Comics storylines. Okay, so that's it for Marvel. And next up, we'll present the other of the big 2, and that's going to be, of course, DC Comics. And we start off with, oh shoot, sorry about that. Let me get these up here. What just happened? Okay. So we're going to start off with Creature Commandos, and this is from the DC Horror Stories. And I've enjoyed the Creature Commandos, the comic books, as well as the animated series, but right now we'll just focus on the comic books. I am caught up on the stories. Very, very well written. This is issue number 5 of 6, written by David Dastmalchian. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. David Dastmalchian. And the artist is Jesus Herreros, I believe. Cool cover there, too. Love the covers of all the books that have come out with Creature Commandos. Then next up, we get into DC's The New Gods, part of their All-In storyline. Okay. And this spins out of the Absolute Power storyline that DC did at the latter part of last year and the early part of this year. It's written by Ram V. Artist is Riccardo Federici, I believe. The interior artwork of this book is spectacular. In fact, I'll show you, since I don't have this bagged and boarded, I'll show you some of the artwork here. All right, dig that. Let's see. There we go. We're going to get that page to fold out there. Okay. There we go. So, yeah, very, very nice artwork. Very well drawn. I love the panels and the lettering. Man, that is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Reminds me of another artist that just doesn't come to mind right now. It might be the same guy. Who is this? Did I say R.B. Silva? No, Riccardo Federici is the artist on this. But there's another artist that draws has a similar style to the artwork you see here. Wow, look at that, man. That is really nice. Love that. Okay, let's move along here. Next up in the All-In, DC's All-In series, we have issue number 6 of Wonder Woman. This is Absolute Wonder Woman. Issue number 6. Excuse me, I'm sorry, issue number 5. Issue number 5 of Absolute Wonder Woman. And this is written by Kelly Thompson with artist Hayden Sherman. I'm not going to lie, I'm not really crazy about the interior artwork, but I do love the story. The story is really good. Definitely worth reading. Okay. Issue number 5 of 6. I think issue number 6 might be out. I think it's out. Because again, I am always behind on my comics. So much so that I wrote a note to myself on this issue number 6 of All-In of the of Absolute Batman. See, I wrote a little note on here. Missing issue number 5. I think I'm missing issue number 5 of this series. This is Absolute Batman, which is written by, who is this written by? Scott Snyder, I believe. Yeah, Scott Snyder, issue number 5 of Absolute Batman. So I'm gonna have to make a note to my comic book shop to see if they can back order issue number 5 for me. Now this is right here is really, really very cool. This is issue number, what is this? Issue number 4. This is book number 4 from DC's Black Label. This is Batman Full Moon. And if you don't know anything about this book, first of all, it's a glow-in-the-dark cover. The cover glows in the dark, and which I think is absolutely awesome. Let me see if I can douse some lights so we can actually see it glow. Let's see. There's that. Doesn't have the full glow effect yet. I think I have to put it in some daylight, and we'll probably we actually get to see it glow. All right, never mind. So I thought we could get that effect going on, but it's not going to work. But anyway, these are glow-in-the-dark covers, man. Really cool. And as I always say, the things that you can do with physical comic books that you can't do with digital, you know, there's nothing you can really do with digital because the fact that it's digital, it's all computerized. But on paper and cardboard, there's a lot you can do. You know, a lot of artistic vision and creativity that you can do with physical comic books. And also, this book gets the smell of the week. It smells awesome. So this is the smell of the week for me, or smell of the month. I'll just say smell of the month. All right. Okay, let's move along here. Next up, we get into, what's this? Absolute Flash from the All-In series. This is issue number 1. Very, very cool cover there. Uh-oh. Let's see. Yeah, so this is by Absolute Flash. This is by Jeff Lemire, right? Artwork is by Nick Robles. And as you've seen before I turn this around, I have the foil cover, which is this right here. And I mentioned earlier about how DC has been coming out with some really, really cool foil covers. And of course, that's a symbol of Flash, or Absolute Flash. Really love that. That is so very cool. So very cool. All right, so Absolute Flash, issue number 1. I think 2 is out. I'm not for sure, but I think issue number 2 is out. I'll eventually one day get caught up on all of my comic books. You know, hey man, but this stuff, I pay for this stuff out of my own pocket, so, you know, it's not like it's so easy to do, you know, when you're doing it yourself. I don't have anybody sending me free comic books yet, you know, like some comic book, some YouTubers do. Hopefully one day I'll get to that status. Anyway, moving along here. And that's not a complaint, just, you know, just keeping it real. All right, so anyway, let's move along here. We're getting into our indie comics now. First up, we have the King of All Monsters, my man, Godzilla. This is from the Godzilla vs. America series from ID. What is this? These are all one-shots. I think this is IDW. Yeah. This is written by Mike Costa, art by Ryan Brown. There's a Godzilla vs. New York that's out, and I think he's going to be Godzilla again versus America. He's going to all the different states in America, wreaking havoc. So, all right, I don't think you can see the title. There you go. So Godzilla versus Chicago, which I will be going to hopefully next month to Chicago Comic Con, also known as C2E2. So, yep, hopefully we'll see Godzilla there. Huh? Ooh, that would be exciting. Not. All right, next up we have one of my other favorite monsters from the Godzilla universe, the Monsterverse, and that's Mothra, Queen of the Monsters. This is from, again, IDW. Beautiful cover there. I love that cover. And what can I tell you about this book? I haven't read it yet, of course, but it's a story. The story is by Sophie Campbell, who actually is one of the artists of the story. There are two artists, Sophie Campbell and Matt Frank. That is an absolutely gorgeous cover. Look at that. I love Mothra. Love Mothra. That is beautiful. Beautiful. I love the paints, the color, and how the colors pop off of the cover. Of course, Mothra is a colorful creature. Okay. All right, let's move along here. Next up, we have from the McFarlane Spawn universe, one of my favorite comic books, detective crime comic books, I think, of all time. This is Sam and Twitch. The story, this is the second arc. This is issue number 11. And I do believe I'm missing issue number 10. I think that the cover is very, very cool. I did a whole story or video on Sam and Twitch last year, how much I enjoy the story of these two characters. Of course, this is from the Spawn universe. This is a more grounded story, though. It deals with more realistic events versus the supernatural stuff, which is what Spawn really entails. More like supernatural horror type deal. So yeah, you're the two detectives who come out of that story. Again, Sam and Twitch. And this again is issue number 11, as I said. All right. Sam and Twitch from the McFarlane Spawn universe. Next up, we have also from the McFarlane universe. And also, these are the cheapest books on the on comic book shelves. They come at $2.99 a copy, which I think is great. And they're card stock, by the way. Marvel, DC, you all need to catch up with what this guy is doing. You all need to come up with card stock covers too from time to time. I appreciate the foil covers, but I want to see some card stock from you guys. I have a little note on here because I'm missing issue number 37. Yep, but that is She-Spawn on the cover of Scorched. Very cool there. I'm sorry, this is issue number 38. And it's written by John Layman and Todd McFarlane. Artwork by the very, very talented Steven Segovia. And there's incredible artwork in the interiors. Very, very nicely drawn from Mr. Segovia. Nice work as always. Next up, we get into Dark Horse Comics. We only have one Dark Horse Comics book here. This is the sequel to Nightclub. This is Nightclub book 2. Let's kind of give you a better shot there. And this is issue number 2, written by the talented Mark Millar, with artwork by Juanan Ramirez. I'm glad to see the continuation of this story. Am I looking at the right book? I'm sorry. No, my apologies. Okay, here's issue number 6. That was issue number 2. I am actually missing, and again, I got a little note here, issues 3 through 5. So let's take this off right here. You can see the full cover. So this is Nightclub book 2, or arc number 2, issue number 6. And this was actually at one point, I think this was under being published by, I think it was IDW. And it was only $2.99. But now they were Dark Horse, and they doubled the price to $4.99 a copy. Anyway, it's a story that I'm very interested in, so I don't mind paying that little extra $2 to continue to collect this book. And I should mention, nothing to mention. No special mentions. That's it. And now we get back into Image Comics and the world of James Tynion IV. This is World Tree issue number 13. And I've collected pretty much this entire series. If I am correct, I think this is the final book. I'm not for sure. With World Tree, the psychological horror thriller X-Files book. And that's a very, very gruesome cover there. She's very bloody. All right, yep. So World Tree, issue number 13. And this is cardstock too, by the way. And continuing the world of James Tynion, we have the re-release of issue number 0 of Something is Killing the Children, which is the flagship comic book, for the most part anyway, for Boom Studios. The artwork is by Werther Dell'Edera. And again, as I mentioned, this is a reprint of issue number 0 of that series. Why they're starting it over, I don't know. I guess to try to reinvigorate and re-inspire the reading of this book. And I guess, as I said, at one point it was a flagship comic book of Boom Studios. Drew a lot of attention to Boom Studios. I'm way behind on my reading for Something is Killing the Children, but I'm glad to get this reissue of the series. And then last but not least, still staying in the world of James Tynion, but under a different comic book label, is The Deviant by James Tynion IV and Joshua Hixson. And this is the final series of the final book of this series. Get some of that glare out of there. Issue number 9. That very gruesome cover there. And this is very much a Christmas story. It's a creepy Christmas story, but it is a Christmas story, as I just said. The Deviant, issue number 9 of 9. 9 of 9, I believe. The final book in that series under Image Comics. So that's it. That's all. Let's put the Marvel Comics back up here. That's it. That's all for my comic book haul. My comic book picks. I hope that you've enjoyed this particular haul. Please like, share, subscribe, and tap the notification bell to get more videos like this as I post them immediately. Thank you all for joining me. Read a comic book. Happy Comic Book Wednesday, today being March the 26th, and we are marching right along out of March. I'm glad. It's one of my least favorite months of the year, so I'm glad about that. Can't wait for April to get here, and hopefully I'll be in Chicago at C2E2. Stay tuned for more for that. And of course, we're getting closer to Free Comic Book Day, which of course is in May, and the release of Marvel's The Thunderbolts. All right. That's it. That's all, y'all. Thank you all for joining me. Peace, love, and hair grease.